Now, on another note, we've seen the Abraham Peace Accords bringing Israel and the Arab world closer together, from the UAE to Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco, and now even with Bhutan. So who's next? Well, we have a guest, but joining us now from Islamabad to discuss is Pir Mussadir Shah, Muslim religious leader, co-chair of the Netherlands-based Universal Sufi Council, and founder of the Salook Sufi think tank in Islamabad, Pakistan. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, how do you see the relations between Israel and Pakistan? Do you think that there is a need for normalization in relations in the near future?
Yeah, definitely. I go with the idea of normalization. I support it because after a long time, the whole world has come on a point that whatever your conflicts are, you have to resolve it on the table, not in the battlefield.
So what is the attitude towards Israel these days in Pakistan, especially since Iran has, also has a large influence in the country?
Yeah, of course, Iran has a large influence in the country, and they have large investments as well. But nowadays, the trend is good. People are supporting the idea of normalization, at least starting a talk with Israel. And there is a rational thinking behind that. We are continuous in war with India since 1985 on Siachen. We have had 4 wars with India, but still we support the idea of talk. Still we pursue the idea of negotiations to resolve the matter of Indian occupied Kashmir. And when we have the courage to talk with our enemies, I don't know why there is not a potential to talk with Israel, as we are not direct enemies, by the way.
Of course. So, to that end, then, have you talked to any Israeli officials? Do you know of any negotiations that are off the ground, to create a relationship between these two countries?
As far as connecting with the Israeli people, yes, I am connected with Israeli scholars, academics, Sufi leaders. We are often talking about peace, and the public diplomacy on public level, it's going on. But it is not the state policy. I'm not representing the state or the government. And I am not sure whether the Israeli officials are having some kind of track 1, 2, or 3 type of diplomacy somewhere with Pakistan or not.
I see. All right. So, one of the problems that Israel has had with Pakistan in the past is the fact that the country has denounced the Holocaust. Do you think that a change can be made in the people's perceptions of this issue?
I'm not sure when you find it that Pakistan or Pakistani nation has denounced Holocaust. Mm-hmm. That is not fact. I think that like now we resemble what is going on in Indian occupied Kashmir with the Holocaust. We call it modern day Holocaust. I'm not trying to offend you with the sensitivity of Holocaust, but when we have to describe the mass level of persecution, we resemble it with Holocaust. And I guess we are aware. Pakistan is a nation, Pakistanis are the nation who are well aware what is terrorism and what is the cost of terrorism. We have paid the cost of terrorism for last 20 years. And we have seen it in our streets, on our roads, in our educational institutions. So we know the pain. And how can we denounce Holocaust? We resemble it with today's situation in Indian occupied Kashmir. So we say it that what is going on in Indian occupied Kashmir is modern day Holocaust.
All right, well,
so by that we are recognizing.
Right. Well, I want to basically finish by saying that I do hope that our countries can, of course, come together and that peace can spread everywhere, that normalization is no longer an issue anywhere. Per, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.